I've spent more than a dozen years conducting independent research about the Hemings and Jefferson issue. Today, I'll try and explain why I did this and some of what I uncovered. I'll also introduce my newest discoveries that have never been discussed publicly but could influence this debate in the future. The debate changed in 1998, as John told you about, when science showed that someone carrying Jefferson family DNA had fathered Sally Hemings' last child, Eston. The journal Nature's mishandling of that news led to worldwide misreporting that DNA had proven Thomas Jefferson the father. Consequently, much of the public and academic community adopted the false idea that science had proven the paternity of at least that one Hemings child, Eston. In fact, any of more than 24 men could have fathered Eston. Historians understood this, but as I'll demonstrate later, certain historians ignore evidence pointing toward any paternity candidate but Jefferson. Recently, Monticello escalated its position, asserting that most historians believe Thomas Jefferson fathered every Hemings child. This is without any evidence. I explored Jefferson country for new clues, and I followed the Hemingses in their 19th century trek west. My search yielded previously unexamined records and documents. I found fresh information that exposes fallacies, omissions, and contradictions in the debate. I also discovered enormous gaps in the evidence that are filled with imagination. Historians' technique of filling in gaps with imagination, influenced by their own biases, is fashionable today. But that technique undermines traditional standards for objectivity in historical scholarship. That disrespects the historical record and results in distorted history. Once a recognized authority publishes flawed data, it is likely to be accepted widely without scrutiny, as we have seen here today. Credulous scholars cite it, and misinformation spreads like a tsunami. It's important to note that one leading Jefferson scholar and paternity believer refers to Jefferson as his meal ticket and makes statements like, "We don't need proof. We're historians. We can write history the way we want." Discussing sex in Jefferson within the slavery era is an ideological minefield. Though honorable people can disagree about the paternity, there are paternity believers that interpret skepticism as racism. One noted Virginia historian has even publicly alleged white supremacy. For more than 200 years, reasonable people accepted that the paternity allegations were out of character, but they could not be proved or refuted. Then the new establishment began judging him more severely when it appeared he might have fathered children with a slave.